This is another Poets at War General Report. And here's your General, Joshua David Ling.
Good luck.
Excuse any screaming from children. They're outside playing too. No big deal. And probably it's going to get cut out through my process. But not a big deal. What's up, everybody? General's Report. Time for a smoke. Hope you don't mind me fiddling while I do this. I had a problem. I had a task that I didn't want to do. This, most of us tend to have happen. Nothing crazy. Just the process of adding sound effects to my poetry, stories, and yeah, it was just really tedious and repetitive. And I was kind of it was a problem of my own making. Not just the process was tedious, it was just taking way too much time. It was not efficient, and since it's my work, it's my problem, right? It's like someone creating a situation where, an employer is telling me something to do and I have a task that I don't want to do. Try not to talk over here, please, okay? I'm talking to the camera. You can be here, you can listen to me, but this is my show and I'm talking, okay? I love you very much. Okay, well, go find something. So, any which way, I decided I was going to call Brendan Sunshine, other host on this podcast thing called Poets at War, and just talk with him a little bit. Commiserate, pick his brain, whatever the case may be. I'm going to pick his brain, I think, but, so we have the problem. We have someone help me with the solution. And this is one of the things that Brendan's awesome about that I don't think he knows he's awesome about is, he kind of went at one point, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm trying to fix your problem. I got to be better about that." And I'm like, no, I want you to fix my problem. There's that whole, especially male-female thing of wanting to commiserate versus wanting to fix the problem. And sure, I wouldn't mind some commiseration, but I really wanted to fix the problem if it was possible. And just to pick his brain. And, Brendan is actually really awesome at thinking through problems with somebody about verbal processing, because he's a verbal processor. And he's helped me on more than one occasion with that kind of a thing. And I think I've helped him too. We really tend to, when we put our heads together, it's actually collaborative. Sometimes I collaborate with people and I feel like I'm the only one adding to it, or I totally am lost and have no clue what they're even trying to accomplish. But, yeah. So that was the problem. And now we begin to come to the solution. So let me light up here. Yeah, there we go. A lot of people have wondered what tobacco I smoke. This is my first bag, and it's a big bag, and I'm going through it. It's Great American, or not Great American, something like that. It's American something or other. It's a red bag. I like the spicy stuff. So let me. All right. So we have the problem. Let's take a break from the problem for just a second. Let's talk about Tom Bombadil. So, the hobbits run into his situation in Lord of the Rings, his domain, so to speak, and they have a whole lot of problems. Big Old Man Willow being one of the chief among them, and the ring being the chief among them. And Tom Bombadil comes in, does his thing, saves them, invites him to tea and dinner. You know, the existential dread of the ring was there for Frodo even at that time, but it was even more existential. It was more esoteric. It was this deep malevolence that Gandalf had filled him in on what the deal was, but Frodo had no clue, really and truly, what level of trouble he was actually in at the time, and the other hobbits certainly did not at all. They were more concerned with Old Man Willow, who was trying to kill them at that particular moment. But yeah, I mean, I tend to have those problems. You don't know exactly what's wrong. I didn't know what was wrong with my problem at this time, right? And knowing that evil can help, especially I would argue in matters of lust, knowing what the problem is and knowing to run away from said problem, in the case of lust. But other problems that you actually have to attack head on, sometimes it's better to not know how big or scary they actually are. And having fun, a la Tom Bombadil, swooping in and saying, "Hey, Dole, Mary Dole, don't you be doing that, Old Man Willow." He never stops singing. You ever notice that? Not really. Sure, he gets stern and he attacks these problems head on, but Tom is never stopping smiling, never stopping having fun. He just kind of waltzes through this situation and saves the day. The only person concerned with escape are jailers, as Tolkien would say. I'm sure many of you have heard of that before. Someone asked if they were concerned that if Tolkien was concerned that Lord of the Rings was escapist in nature. And Tolkien was like, yeah, duh. The only people concerned that escape is a bad thing are jailers. But let me be perfectly clear on this. There's a difference between whistling through a graveyard and standing on the edge of the graveyard whistling and never walking through it. Brendan helped me through a fine conversation to be able to whistle through this graveyard and actually to find a song that I can whistle through every time I come to this graveyard. The actual solution was something like this. This is technical, so if you're not interested, no big deal. I'm going to make it quick. I was downloading each individual soundtrack from YouTube and placing it within my timeline and making sure each and every one was properly set and named and put in the right place. And it was just a ridiculous process. So he suggested using OBS. Now, I initially balked at the idea, but once I set it up so everything that I hear through my speakers is recorded. And I can just go hit record, search for all my sound effects, and as I listen to them, make sure they're long enough to go where they need to go. But as I listen to them, just go yes, no, and it's not recording my voice or anything, but I just know intuitively as I record. And then it's one file. And I can drag that into my timeline. I can cut, place, and we're done. And it's honestly kind of fun because as I'm looking, I can find, it's so quick, so fun, and just, it's a whole different process. I'm not copying, pasting, saving, blah, 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 blah. It's just one file. And that made it not only quicker, but a lot more fun. I look forward to it. I look forward to finding the sound effects since I'm actually focused on the sound effects and not the bureaucratic nature of, filing everything in its proper order. So, with that being said, Christians have lost the art of fun. And a lot of people think that fun is an antonym, in many cases, to efficiency. In this case, it was not at all. In Tom Bombadil's case, it was not at all. What did Old Man Willow need? He needed a song. He needed to be reminded of who he was, what his job was, and how he was not doing that job. So next time you come to a problem, don't think that you just have to knuckle down and push through necessarily. When you're brainstorming your solution, think of different ways that you can gamify, make fun, make consistent, make, maybe a little smaller step, but make the step with joy. It is so hard, unlike my pipe right now, which I'm having to relight, to put out the fire of joy. This has been the General's Report. Everybody be your family's bard. Do not turn to the right or to the left, and the Lord will be with you wherever you go. We'll see you next time in the trenches on Poets at War.
Song said